Make a motion to appoint John Kohl, chair of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great job.
Keep me away.
Record breaking. Must be a record breaking.
Not much to do today. Might as well start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, clerk, can you take the roll call, please?
Stephen Lyssel.
Here.
Jim Falke.
Here.
Jeremiah Kiecker.
Here.
John Kohl.
Here.
Rick Coenen.
Here.
Bobbi Mark.
Here.
Dan Sams.
Okay, we're in compliance with the open meetings law.
Yes, we are.
Okay, everybody has a copy of the previous minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 13th meeting as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion by Marks, seconded by Koenen to approve the minutes from the January 13th board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do we need to do one for the caucus too?
I think that was all one.
Or all one part? Okay. All right, informal public comments. Mary Krause.
Okay, the reason I'm here is, I'll start this out back in December before Christmas. I saw Kathy Smith up at Fleet Farm, and she said, you know, everybody's upset because we didn't have a Christmas parade this year, and went on and on about it. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, Kathy, for next year, let's you and I put it together, and we'll chair it. So I gave each of you a paper there, and we've had meetings with, like, the library and the Legion auxiliary people, and everybody seemed, and also the Historical Society, and everybody seems really enthused about it. And we're trying to do everything on one day, like the Christmas tree and the parade, and we want to, and like it says on the paper, we want to do some stuff here in the village hall too. We'll probably need the street closed probably for a half hour or so for the parade, and also I went to the chamber meeting, and they offered to give us some monies towards this event. And one of the things I asked for is if they would pay for Christmas tree lights for that big tree, because people were complaining that the big tree wasn't lit this year. I believe the Fair family bought the lights for the little tree. And anyway, they haven't told me for. They kind of said, yes, we will give you the money, but it's not official yet. And so I wrote the grant up for it and everything. So I think that we will get the money for the lights for the big tree.
I think the old ones are probably still on there.
They
It just
are.
got to be so big that we had to get Greg down there, Falke with the bucket truck to get up to, and he couldn't even reach the top anymore, so
Okay.
kind of let that go.
So anyway, we should be getting new ones. And anyway, then when I was talking with the chamber, they're also going to give us a grant for the Yellowstone Trail Festival. And one of the things they told me, I should come back to the village board and ask if the village had any money to put towards this festival.
I think that if there's,
Dropped it to 500, or did we completely pull it out of there? I can't even remember. We'd have to
we
look
leave
back.
that celebration money in there, because before we give it to fireworks, but I think last year we didn't give any fireworks, did we?
Last year we did.
500.
We did last year too?
Yeah, but I almost think it was dropped this year. I can go grab the budget quickly.
Yeah.
I see you got November 28th. Is that didn't the library always have something on that?
They're
Saturday
going
also?
to be,
It's all gonna be in one.
they have theirs the week before,
Okay.
But the library is going to be doing stuff with us, you know, like story time.
There's
Because they
no,
want
they
to be
always,
involved too.
they always had that basket thing. I know
Right,
that
and they will
took up
have
a
it.
lot of space.
They'll have it the week before. That's why, otherwise we would go for that weekend, but we can't because of, you know,
It's the last weekend of year, huh?
it is. And I don't really like that day either, but it's just, if we go the next weekend, then we're with Waiwiga again, and so many people said they don't like it because they do it the same day as Waiwiga. And, I don't know, we can't please everybody, you know, it's just.
Set a date and go.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, another reason this works is because when I talked to Legend George, he's gonna be having the music here. He said that works perfect for him because the following week, he does Red Granite. And, oh, and then Tin Man, he's gonna do the parade, and he was happy too that we did it this weekend. He said, because then we're not going up against Waiwiga.
Does our schedule or anything book for that day yet?
I
For this room?
No, that was all the time.
Okay, I'll put a motion out, to let, Mary Krause, use the conference room, gym for the Christmas parade on Saturday, November 8th, or Saturday, November 28th. Is that an all day?
I'm gonna assume it's gonna probably start around 1 o'clock.
Okay. You want
You'll
some-
probably need everything in the morning, though, for setting up
I
and
would
everything,
think.
so.
Make it for the whole day.
Make it for the whole day. Then, yeah, the motion includes, Saturday, November 28th for the whole day and.
Probably
for
into the night
festivities,
or
yeah.
early
Well,
evening
However
too.
long you need it. That's what
Okay.
the motion is for.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Coenen, seconded by Falke, to approve the request for use of the conference room and gym for a Christmas parade on Saturday, November 28th for the full day. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion?
Do we still need a street closure request then for the
Yeah,
street itself once
you'd
we
have
get?
to fill out a permit, before that.
Okay. And it'll be under the Optimist Club too, because that way we get their insurance, the insurance through the international, and then we don't have to carry a separate policy.
All right.
And what was the other question for the money for the?
What did it say?
Oh,
in the
for
budget?
actually for the Yellowstone Trail Festival.
Celebrations, we have 500 budgeted, we dropped it from 1,000 last year.
Does that have to be on the agenda?
Yeah, I would think you should have that on the agenda to request it.
For the next time.
All right, we've voted aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carried. All right, police report.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Police report for the month of January 2015, total of 17 complaints, 1 article found, assist other departments, 3, 2 in the township. Assist public, 1, disorderly conduct, 1, domestic abuse, 2, 911 calls, 1, harassment, 1, phone calls, 1, suspicious person, 2, traffic, 2, vandalism, 1, welfare check, 1. The squad car was driven 1,614 miles. Current mileage is 55,195. Shift deployments 20. 200. Actual hours worked 196.5. Current month there was 6 verbal warnings, 0 traffic crashes. Radar enforcement was 5 hours and 56 minutes on Tustin Road, 34 minutes in the school zone, 2 hours and 50 minutes Village Hall, 3 hours and 50 minutes Tustin Road, and 1 hour and 50 minutes Tustin Road. The Wapaka County Sheriff's Department handled 7 calls in a month, 1 assist public, 1 domestic abuse, 2 family, 2 suspicious person, and 1 theft. The department did not receive any noise complaints from liquor license establishments in the month. Respectfully submitted, Gene Goody. reports, Bobbi, Hall and Library.
Yeah, the library had 5 programs in January with 35 attending and 29 children for the drop-in program. There were 498 cards scanned and 918 patrons in the library. There were 119 patrons using the library's wireless, 160 sessions on the public computers, and there were 69 ebook users. The adult book club met on January 12th. They're meeting again on February 9th. What was today? Yesterday?
Yes, sir.
So they already met. Friends of the Library, we hosted a movie with popcorn. That's already done too. That was on February 4th. They had early childhood development days in January for 19th and 20th. They had held their annual food for fines in January. There was a library community center expansion meeting on the 29th. It was well attended. There's a questionnaire in the library about the expansion. Everyone is invited to fill it out. They've decided to form a committee with representation from the village board, library board, friends of the library, and the general public. They want to suggest to save the date, Wednesday the 15th. Friends of the Library will be celebrating National Library Week with an ice cream social and a program by Bubble Wonders. That's all I have.
Thanks. Next will be Jim with utility.
I don't have anything.
Probably a good thing.
Yes.
Okay.
No dramatic things freezing up or anything going crazy. Had a few small things, but everything's running smoothly.
All right. Jeremiah, ordinance and recycling.
I have nothing.
Okay. Steve with beach and park.
I do not have anything either.
Wow.
Okay. Rick, streets.
Okay, nothing on streets itself, but discussing the boat ramp out here between the bank and the 11 footers and what we discussed before. Of course, the estimate to get that fixed is, I believe it was $85,000 to repair that and to get it up and running again. So it'd be a functional boat launch basically for anybody. Permits, I don't even know when that boat launch was put in. I'm not even guessing when that boat launch was put in, when the village put it in. But what it was at that time, I am working with Steve through the DNR Water Resources for the permit, and he says back then you probably didn't even need a permit. You know, we're talking probably 30, 40 years ago when that was put in. But anyways, we need one now. I do have the paperwork for that to fill out that permit. Since we are dealing with a grant on this, the permit, it's like a deposit. The permit would be $300. Once the project is done and paid for, the state would pay us the $300 back. So basically, it's a wash. But you have to come up with $300 for the permit. Whether Racky does that or we do that, and I did discuss it with Steve, it would probably be cheaper for us, for the village to fill it out than Racky's, because they're gonna charge a whole lot more, I think, than $300. If they gotta take out.
Did you get a copy of the permit or anything?
Yes, it's is application. Yeah, I'm sorry, his name is Scott. There's a permit right there. I guess,
Something you can fill out easily? or-
I think so. It's just gonna take time. If I have any questions, I'll probably ask Dawn or Dan, or even give Racky's a call. I don't know if they got to fill anything out, because they're gonna be the contractors on this project. You know, I didn't read it over thoroughly yet.
So it's basically the water general permit, waterway general permit 303.
Right.
You you said you have a meeting tonight with the web footers to see what they would contribute?
I also have a meeting with the web person tonight at 6:30, so I would have to be out here by about 25 after.
I think that I got an email today that they weren't having that meeting.
Get on it.
Great.
They said half their club is sick.
Yeah, oh boy, nice today.
That's because I knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice that they emailed me or something. Anyways, well, I guess the question is, with the grant and everything, the grant covers half of the construction cost, which would come out to be about $42,000. Where is the board going to go with this, even if we look at it, if the web porters, whatever the web porters do, I guess, can we still move ahead with the project,
Well,
or
we
what?
we talked at the last meeting, or I said that I would think that it's gonna benefit them. I mean, we don't really get a lot of use there. I mean, it gets some use, but not compared to down there.
Right.
If they should,
It's not gonna help.
50% is what
I.
I would ask them for,
Yeah.
50% of that 42.5. You know,
Okay.
maybe that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So I
If-
don't
if
know
they-
what
if
everyone
they don't
else
wanna-
thinks, but.
If they're not interested in doing that, as far as we're concerned, we can close that ramp.
Well, I wouldn't wanna close it.
I won't wanna close it,
You know,
I guess how I.
But I mean, to stick that kind of money into something that maybe the collection fees, I don't know. When I used to take the money out of there and collect it, you're lucky if you got 8-10 envelopes a weekend out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not, I think it gets a little more use now with the parking here, but it still doesn't generate that kind of
Right.
money
And
for us
again-
to stick that much into it.
And I guess the question has to be asked, do we fix it? So it does relieve a little bit of the pressure down at the main boat launch.
And what if we went, instead of going with Radke's proposal at 85,000, what if we went to Mathwig and did what we did before?
Just Band-Aid, I guess could, but. it would-
What did it cost back then, do you know?
It
Anybody
wasn't
know?
that much.
It wasn't that
They
much.
actually, like that time when they extended we extended extra like 8-foot pads in there. There's like 3 pads, if I remember right. And they're put together, chained together,
Mhm.
and then they were just slid in over the top of and it worked good, but it's when they're loading the boats and they're gunning and it's washing all the stone out from underneath there.
Right, and that's where.
So it's called do
So
it right
it's-
and get it done
This
right.
way, well, he's planning on, they're pumping the water up, putting pilings in,
Yeah.
pumping the water out, and pouring it
Right, yeah.
in there,
Well,
and a lot further into the river than what these pads are right now.
I think definitely, the web footers have to think about paying some of it.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that's not gonna get done until August or September of next,
Mhm.
through this summer anyway, towards
Right.
fall of next year when the water's down.
Right.
And they're gonna be using it all summer, so I don't think we need to rush into it. I think we just need to hit them up and see what they're, willing to
Yeah,
contribute.
well, I gotta have the paperwork in by June. I have to, and for the permit, it has to get sent, to the state, then back to, where
I mean, who's the president? Is it Todd, or who's the president? of the Workforce?
Sam.
Benjamin?
Benjamin, I believe, yes, is president.
Well, I don't know did you talk to him and just feel him out a little bit yet?
I felt him out a little bit, and at the time I went there, I said, this is what we would like you guys to cover, and I don't know how much the project was gonna cost, because we didn't have no numbers.
Mhm.
I said, but at the time, I said, the grants could cover half, and at the time, we were kind of thinking that, okay, if it's one footers could pick up a quarter and the village could pick up the other quarter of that half, I think we could come to some type of deal. But I said, don't promise nothing, because we don't have no numbers yet, and it was not right there.
Well, I think it's just, you're gonna have to get they're gonna have to have a meeting and figure it out. Before we, as a board, should make a decision on it, I guess we need to know how much they're gonna contribute,
Okay,
if anything.
all right, so in other words, you kind of put this on the back burner right now?
Well,
Well,
keep
So
going with
keep
the
going with it, but just
the
make
permits,
sure.
but-
Do I fill out all the permits?
Yep.
And all the paperwork and?
Well, I think the whole thing hinges on getting the grant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we don't have the grant,
The project
Yeah.
is over with.
yeah, so I think that's your first
So,
first
in
step.
other words, go, get the permits done, get the grants done, get that all put in, we should know.
And also in the meantime, if they're gonna have a meeting next month or something,
Right,
Keep us,
make
yeah.
sure they get it on their agenda to talk about it.
right, we should know by the end of July, that's when they make
Yeah.
the decisions for the grants.
So,
Okay,
So get everything filled out and keep moving ahead with it.
yes.
sure.
Okay, sounds great, that's all I have.
Okay, next up is myself on employee and purchasing. I have nothing. Clerk's report.
All right. We have received $103.58 for the fourth quarter cable TV franchise fee. We also got $281.39 for December court penalties. Have 2 operators licensed. We'll do them one at a time here. I have one for Alicia Dake. She has no record that would prohibit the license being issued. If I could entertain a motion on that one.
Make a motion to approve the operator's license application for Alicia Dake.
I'll second that.
Motion Marks, seconded Van Lyssel to approve the operator's license for Alicia Dake. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed?
And
Okay.
second one is for Barbara Adams. The recommendation on that one was based upon board established guidelines, and I had talked to the ordinance committee regarding this, so.
Well, I think I'll make a motion to approve operator's license for Barbara Adams.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kiecker, seconded by Falke to approve the application for Barbara Adams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next is an amusement device license application for Ted's Grandview. He has a permit here for 4 machines.
I'd like to abstain from any discussion with it.
So what's the, this is just for through the end of
Through
June?
30th,
So-
yes, it was prorated.
So it's what, February, March, April, May, and June?
June, yes.
5 months?
Mhm.
And it's so much per,
Machine, we
Machine.
waited $9 per machine.
okay. I make a motion, we approve the amusement device license for Ted's Grandview, prorated at 5/12.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Marks and seconded by Van Lyssel to approve the amusement device license applications for Ted's Grandview for 4 devices. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
I
motion
abstain
carried.
on that. Thank you.
One abstention,
Next, we had talked about the training for that statewide voter registration. I was able to get into the Oshkosh one.
Okay.
Yep, so that'll be March. There's a 3rd optional day, and I talked to some other clerks, and they recommend taking it. That was just on the absentee things, and they said with the more absentees that are being processed these days, you're probably better off at least knowing how to do it, even if you don't use it right away. So that'll be March 10th through the 12th in Oshkosh.
Good.
And that, the 10th is the night of the board meeting, and Dan was aware of that, so I'm gonna be rushing in right at 6 o'clock, so. And then I also got confirmation of the audit for the 2014 audit will begin on March 23rd, so we're into the middle of that week.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, any unfinished or old business from previous meeting? Any new business? Communications. All right, everybody's got a copy of the bills.
approve the bills as presented.
Second.
Motion Marks, seconded Kiecker to pay the bills as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kiecker, seconded by Koenen to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.